Good day and welcome to Jamaica News Now, your trusted source for the stories shaping Jamaica today. Stay with us as we break down each story with the facts, the latest developments, and what they could mean for you. If you value credible Jamaican news, remember to like this video, subscribe to Jamaica News Now, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Let's get into today's top stories. Audrey Marks rejects claims over third country nationals. Cabinet Minister Audrey Marks has dismissed reports suggesting that she proposed an arrangement for Jamaica to receive up to 10,000 third country nationals from the United States. Marks said the claims are inaccurate and have misrepresented previous discussions surrounding labor recruitment initiatives that took place during her tenure as Jamaica's ambassador to the United States. According to Marks, a proposal she previously worked on focused on legal employment opportunities for Jamaicans abroad and was unrelated to any plan involving the relocation or housing of migrants in Jamaica. She stressed that there has been no government approval for such a program and urged the public to rely on verified information rather than speculation. The issue has generated widespread public debate and political discussion in recent weeks, with government officials continuing to clarify Jamaica's position. The administration maintains that no third country nationals are currently being housed in Jamaica under any government-approved program.
I also had other documents, including the proposal that I had made and that showed how a structured work program would work and how the numbers could be increased. None of those documents were released in the public domain. So this was, again, a deliberate effort to confuse and to cause panic in the country. We need to understand the difference between scrutiny and character assassination. There's a difference between questioning a policy and manufacturing a false personal allegation. And when persons go online to threaten, defame, or allege that a foreign government is bribing a sitting member of the government, they are no longer engaged in ordinary political commentary. So when persons use private accounts or private channels to coordinate public harm, to spread allegations with no evidence, no basis, and no truth, they must understand that they will be held accountable.
Police officer hospitalised after Manchester crash. A police officer is recovering in hospital following a two-vehicle collision in Manchester. The crash occurred while the officer was travelling in the parish, prompting an emergency response from fellow officers and medical personnel. Investigators are working to determine the circumstances that led to the collision. Preliminary reports indicate that both vehicles sustained damage, while the injured officer received medical treatment for injuries that were not immediately reported as life-threatening. The incident served as another reminder of the importance of road safety for both emergency responders and the general public. Police are appealing to motorists to exercise caution, obey traffic regulations, and remain alert while investigations into the crash continue. Government highlights improvement in national security. The government says Jamaica continues to make significant progress in improving public safety, pointing to declining crime figures and international assessments that rank the country among the more peaceful nations in the Caribbean. Officials say ongoing investments in policing, intelligence gathering, and crime fighting technology are producing measurable results. Government representatives argue that reductions in major crimes are helping to improve investor confidence while creating a safer environment for residents and visitors alike. They also highlighted expanded use of surveillance technology, improved policing resources, and closer collaboration with communities as contributing factors to the positive trend. Despite the encouraging statistics, authorities acknowledge that further work remains to address organized crime, gang violence, and illegal firearms. Officials say maintaining the current momentum will require sustained investment in law enforcement, social intervention programs, and community partnerships.
To 24,000, and indeed over 60% from its peak. A decline of 41% in 2025. That is not a marginal improvement, it's a dramatic turning point in public safety in our country. Madam Speaker, we are not pausing to admire the numbers. We are pressing forward to even better numbers and to continued peace and safety in our community. The data for 2026 already highlights a downward trend. As of yesterday, June 29, homicides were down a further 23% compared with the corresponding period of last year. This has placed Jamaica on course to record one of the safest years in its modern history.
Prime Minister calls for a continued fight against crime. Prime Minister Holness has urged Jamaicans not to become complacent despite recent improvements in the country's crime statistics. Speaking at a public event, the Prime Minister warned that criminal activity continues to pose one of the greatest threats to Jamaica's economic and social development. Holness noted that violence and gang activity have delayed major infrastructure and investment projects for years, discouraging business expansion and limiting opportunities for communities. He argued that every reduction in crime creates greater confidence among investors while improving the quality of life for ordinary Jamaicans. The Prime Minister reaffirmed the government's commitment to strengthening national security through increased policing, legislative reforms, and investment in technology. He also encouraged citizens to continue cooperating with law enforcement agencies by reporting criminal activity and supporting crime prevention initiatives.
All Jamaicans must be invested in the reduction of the murder rate. As we have seen now, over 3 years solid reductions heading into the 4th year of reduction in murders. There is a dividend for the country when crime and violence is reduced and peace is flourishing in the society.
Taxi fare increase takes effect across Jamaica. Public passenger vehicle operators across Jamaica are now charging the full revised fares following the implementation of a 16% fare increase. The adjustment follows months of consultations between the government, transport stakeholders, and operator groups, who argued that rising fuel prices, vehicle maintenance costs, insurance premiums, and spare parts had made existing fares unsustainable. The increase affects thousands of commuters who rely on taxis, buses, and route taxis for daily transportation. While transport operators have welcomed the adjustment as necessary to keep their business viable, many passengers have expressed concerns about the additional financial burden, particularly amid the continuing rise in the cost of living. Authorities are encouraging operators to display their approved fare schedules and comply with the official rates. Government officials say the revised fares are intended to strike a balance between the needs of transport providers and the traveling public. The Transport Authority has indicated that inspectors will be monitoring compliance across the island and has urged commuters to report operators who overcharge beyond the approved fare structure.
Of interest. I think that the intention of the transport minister / whoever come up with such idea have an intention that when commuters and we don't agree and the fare increase, which I know we do it and them do it, it will then give them an interest to entertain JUTC bus. We should have enough bus to operate every route. Commuters and taximen never stop have conflict over this, especially.
Court sets timeline for Ruel Reid's case. Legal proceedings involving former Education Minister Ruel Reid are set to move forward after the court established a timetable for the continuation of the long-running corruption case. The matter has experienced several delays since charges were first laid, but the latest court appearance has provided greater clarity on the schedule for future hearings. Reid and several co-accused continue to face allegations arising from an investigation into the management of public education agencies. All defendants have maintained their legal rights as the matter progresses through the judicial system, and the case remains one of Jamaica's most closely watched public corruption proceedings. The court's decision to establish a structured timeline is expected to help move the case toward trial. Legal observers will be watching closely as prosecutors and defense attorneys prepare for the next phase of proceedings, which could have significant implications for public accountability and governance in Jamaica. This is your connection to home. Subscribe today, turn on notifications, and never miss the stories that matter most. Jamaica News Now, your Highlands, your news, right now.